the whole time. You could unravel the sweater, Robbie. We could be here all day. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. You.
Hi.
Hey.
Just want to say Gabriel's my favorite angel. Just want to say that first. And Rob, you played a wonderful version of God.
Thank you.
You did a good job. You did do a good job with that, buddy. Nice work. That.
So my question is, being you guys are the kings of con and basically kind of running the whole convention in your own little point of view, what is it basically like running the conventions?
What's it like running conventions?
Running the conventions.
Herding cats. It's like herding cats. Herding cats with drinking problems. If you had drunk, groping cats who would be drinking and groping you while you tried to herd them.
Really good-looking cats.
Very tall cats.
Tall, good-looking cats.
Who drop their microphone and throw their highlighters as they leave stage.
Nice, long, flowing hair.
Yeah. Beautiful cats that people want you to get out of the way of because you're blocking the view of those cats. Please move. I can't see the beautiful, drunk, groping cats. Please hurry up with your spiel. We're really just here for the cats.
Cats that know their way around a cell phone.
Yeah.
It's the truth is it's a lot of different things. It's super fun and funny. We spend a lot of the weekend laughing. It's very hard work. Just sort of maintaining a level of energy and a certain onness for 3 days that Rich and I do. But we love it. We're as addicted to it as you people are. We keep coming back and doing it because it's so much fun. So yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but it's also very fun, and it's
fun.
Forged a lot of great relationships.
Get to travel around with a lot of fun people and do fun stuff and make up stuff on stage every day that we get to do this. It's fun.
Okay.
I could live without the drinking and the groping and the cat references, but other than that, it's rock solid.
Not everybody's a cat person.
You.
Hi, I'm Lucy from Athens, Georgia.
Hi, Lucy.
Athens, Georgia.
Athens, that's home of our favorite rock band.
Home of our favorite rock band, REM.
Good. My question is for Rob. I was wondering, what was it like going from the Prophet Chuck to God?
The old Chuck God transition, Bubba.
Yeah. Well, going from just regular writer Chuck to being a prophet was something I tackled in that first episode. So I had that, at least had that to go off of. But yeah, it was a big change, right? And it was something that I knew about at the end of season 5. I knew that Eric Kripke had meant that I was God. He called me and told me that. And then when they finally, the writers were able to write it in, and I could kind of come out of the closet as being God. It was interesting because I didn't quite know how I was going to do it at first, and definitely it's one of those things where what if God were one of us kind of thing. It's the guy you'd least imagine would be God as God, which I kind of liked that idea. So it was right before I did the first scene in season 11 as God, I was like, is this going to be how they're going to want it? And I kind of just went with my instincts, and Bob Singer, I'll never forget, was like, I said, Bob, was that all right? He said, yeah, it's great. What do you want? You're God. It's great. So anyway, it was a transition, but I felt I was excited to do it because Chuck is sort of a certain guy, and it was fun to sort of shed that for a few moments and be the father figure. I was certainly honored. It's an honor to play that immense of a role of a deity, and it was cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Hello, over there.
Hi.
You.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
This question is for you, and thank you for the picture op yesterday. It's actually the only good picture I have of myself.
I make people look better in photographs.
Yeah, you
By
really
just being
do.
me.
You are a very handsome man, and thank you. My question for you is, during the episode for Gabriel and Loki, after what he said, was Gabriel's identity partially taken away from him? Was it detrimental to his own self-worth, in a sense?
The showdown, let me just be sure I'm clear on the question. So was the showdown between Loki and Gabriel, did
it take a part of him away from his identity?
Right, because he's been pretending to be Loki for so many years. Is that
Sorry,
sort of,
I'm stuttering.
does that strip him away of part of who he is?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I do think that it does somewhat because he'd been playing that role so long of being the sweet-eating, you know, the actual Norse god, the trickster, you know, doing these things for, you know, taking prideful people and serving them their just desserts and all that kind of thing. That was part of his shtick, his disguise. So, I think revealing that whole backstory and having that all come out removes that little piece of Gabriel as we had previously known him, because now it's revealed to be it's a charade, right? So he'd been doing that to fool people. I still think Gabriel has a sort of a sardonic wit and a, you know, kind of a whimsical look at the world around him. So a lot of those elements are still there, but I think those little key elements that were fooling people into thinking he was the trickster by his behavior and by his choices, yeah, I think it's got to be those are gone. And
the elements are still there because it is you. It is your character. It is your person, and you are what make it the majority. I understand that part of him was taken away in that episode, but the fact that you've become so attached to your character and really putting it out there, you are him. You are the character, and sorry,
No, that's very, very kind of you to say.
I'm really trying to put a lot of emotion in this, and so I'm really, really nervous.
That's okay. You're doing great.
Thank you.
No, I appreciate it very much. I mean, you know, we all try to you try to infuse as much honesty in the characters as you can, and I think, you know, that brings some of Rob Benedict into Chuck and God, and it brings some of Richard Speight into any character I play, and then suddenly after a certain amount of time, there is a little bit of a fusion between the two. But so I think you're spot on. But thank you very much for the kind words. Very kind of you. Hello.
Hi, my name is Shay, and I was just wondering, I had a really kind of embarrassing moment very early on in the con when I almost met Rachel Miner, but completely panicked because she's in my elevator and I didn't expect it. And she just left before I could even say anything. So I was wondering if you guys have had something like that, where you've met someone who you really admire, but just frozen up or done something really embarrassing in front of them.
I know what story you're going to tell. It's a good one.
I love Eddie Vedder. I think he's just a brilliant lyricist and frontman, and I've always been a fan of Pearl Jam from the early days. And about 5 years ago, a friend of mine was really good friends with Ben Harper, who's another musician who plays with Eddie a lot. Yeah. So Ben was opening up for Eddie on Eddie's solo tour, and she said, "Hey, do you want to go to see Ben and then see Eddie?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great. You know, I'm a big fanboy, right? My God, it'd be amazing." So long story short, we see the show. It's great. We go backstage after to meet them. We wind up, because she's really good friends. She was actually really good friends with Ben's wife at the time. So we wind up in a green room, Eddie's green room. So it's Eddie Vedder here, some woman I don't know who she was here, me, Ben Harper, my friend, and maybe one other people. That's it. There's like 6 of us in the green room. And I'm like trying to play it cool. This is my shot. This is my chance to say, like, Eddie, you have molded to what I am in a band and all these things. Right? I had all these things. Huge fan. And Eddie was kind of answering questions. Some people were asking about his set. And I was like, what was the name of that one song you did? And it's a song called Arc, and I knew the name of it. I don't know why I asked what the name of it was. I just wanted to get him to look at me. And he's like, it's called Arc. It's a Pearl Jam song. And in my mind, I'm like, and I just went like this. But in my mind, I'm going, I know it's a Pearl Jam song. So I messed that up. So I ruined that, and the conversation went on. I was like, God, I'm kicking myself. Finally, he turns. He's talking to someone on the other side of him, and he's smoking a cigarette. So I think, okay, I just want to get him to look at me. So I go, hey, I said to the girl next to me, hey, can you ask Eddie if I could borrow a cigarette? I don't even smoke. And she was like, why don't you ask him yourself? And I said, I'm shy. And Eddie, talking this way, I'm over here, goes like this with his cigarettes. But he passed them to me. He never looked at me, but he passed me those cigarettes. He heard me. He heard the sound of my voice. And I choked my way through that cigarette, boy. And that's all we ever had together. That was it. The night ended soon after. But
That's a good one. You have that other story you tell that's when you were at a music festival, it's all him walking around.
yeah, the first time I met him, actually, it was twice I met him. That was the second time. The first time was in like 1992 in the first Lollapalooza. It was actually second Lollapalooza, but early Lollapalooza. And we heard rumor that Eddie Vedder was going to be walking around after their show, because they played like 2 in the afternoon. They weren't that popular at the time. They're just gaining momentum as a band. And he's walking around, sure enough, there he is. And I was like, me and my friend were like, Eddie, oh my God, Eddie, can we take a picture with you? And he's like, no, I'd rather you didn't. But like, I'll remember your faces. It goes like that. And I was like, sweet. And then for a long time when I went and saw him live, I thought that he looked at me and I thought that he remembered my face. No shit. I thought that he was like, Jeremy spoke. There he is. There's a guy I saw at Lollapalooza in class today. I thought for sure, but no.
That's a good one, man. See, if I have my one time kind of embarrassing thing. So years ago, I did a mini-series, Band of Brothers. It was a well-received World War II project, produced by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks. Steven Spielberg cast us all. We were all had to meet Steven and read in front of him to get cast. But he didn't direct it. He came and he visited the set a few times, and we had small groups where we'd meet him. But, he was never our director, so I never had a one-on-one intense rapport with him for a long period of time. So I never got to know him that well. And then after Band of Brothers was over and had premiered and was, out there on the air, I saw him out somewhere, and I was with my buddies, like, there's Steven Spielberg, man. I'm like, yeah, I know. You worked with him. Go say hi. I'm like, I kind of worked with him, but I guess, but I don't know, man, because it's still nerve-wracking. To me, Steven Spielberg is just, he and Tom Hanks together are the coolest people alive, and I'm like, the most intimidating people in the world. So I was like, okay, this is silly. Rich, you're being silly. You did work for the man. You were under his employ. You've met the fella. You're going to go over and say hi. So I got over whatever, and I'm like, Mr. Spielberg, Rich Speight, Band of Brothers alum. And he's like, oh, I know who you are. You played Muck. I'm like, good work. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. That's great. We're standing there, and then I did that. That's the opening. Then I didn't come up with a plan beyond that. So then I am standing. I'd interrupted Steven Spielberg at a sitcom taping, and I was like, I've been seeing. I'm really excited for your latest project, Minority Report. Yeah, I'm excited about that. He's like, cool. I'm like, yeah, but I haven't got to check it out yet. He's like, it's because it hasn't been released. I'm like, yeah, that's why I haven't broken into the offices and screened it for myself. Damn it! Have a good night, Mr. Spielberg. I'll be back in the audience. And that was the end of that. I realized I should get out of there before I do any more damage.
That's good though that he recognized you. That's great.
Yeah. He might have been sorry after I made it incredibly uncomfortable for both of us. But yeah, no, I mean, it was an intimidating time, that moment.
Sure.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Yo.
Hello. First of all, thank you for making Friday super special for me. I got a photo op, and even though my brother turned out to be the main attraction in that photo shoot, it looked like we were cowering in fear behind him, it was still a lovely photo.
Well, he's an imposing fella. I mean, we had to cower in fear. No, you're welcome.
And my question is, what do you love most about yourself?
What do I love most about myself?
Yes, sir.
Don't you know I've built a career on self-loathing? It's breaking apart everything I hold dear. Oh.
What?
I like that I can grow a thick, full beard.
Oh.
When I was a boy, I used to dream of being able to grow sideburns. I was a big Jimi Hendrix fan when I was a kid. And one of the coolest things about Jimi Hendrix to me was that when Jimi Hendrix played the Monterey Pop Festival, he was introduced by Brian Jones, or was that Woodstock? I can't remember. One of those big Brian Jones, the founding member of the Rolling Stones, introduced Jimi Hendrix on stage. And I thought, that's the coolest pairing of all time. Brian Jones, who I thought was one of the coolest looking dudes, He was the blonde, Rolling Stone with the page boy cut with the giant sideburns coming out.
Died at a young age.
And I died at, I think, he's another one of those 27s,
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I want to have big sideburns like Brian Jones. I want to grow sideburns. The second, I was a late bloomer, so I didn't have facial hair until I was in college. And finally, in college, I could grow sideburns. And I just would wear these giant mutton chops, and I wanted to look like Brian Jones. But because I'm from Tennessee and kind of had a southern twang, I looked like a failed Elvis impersonator. That's kind of it had more of that vibe, but I didn't care. I stuck with it. And there's so many photos of me in college where everybody looks kind of normal, and I have giant mutton chops and and they're kind of scraggly. They're not great. And it's actually quite funny. Somewhere, if I ever find this photo, it would be fun to post. But I went to college at University of Southern California. I was a theater major, and one of the fellas, a grade above me, was a very debonair chap who later played Kane on this show, Tim Amundsen. So Tim and I went to college together, and Tim looked like Tim Amundsen in college.
That guy can grow a beard.
He was a full-grown man, and we were all boys. He's like, I see you've joined the freshman class. Welcome aboard. And you're like, thank you, Mr. Amundsen. We were the same age. But he had this long, pointy goatee and flowing black hair, and somewhere there's a picture of Tim Amundsen with this goatee that it would hover, which I guess technically is a Van Dyke. I guess the goatee is just the chin, but if you have the mustache, it's this pointy, devilish Van Dyke and flowing black hair, this one, cocked eyebrow that he always has, and he's wearing a suit, and, not a suit, but like collared shirt and nice pants, and I look like I was part of the maintenance crew's failed son's garage band. I mean, I look awful, and I had giant mutton chops. I'm like, ah. So somewhere there's a picture of that, what I looked like and what I was going for. This is
You got to find that and post it.
somewhere I got to find that. It's pre-digital, of course, so I'll try to find it. But I'm going to go with my thick, full beard. I'm sticking with that. Robbie?
That's good. That's a good one. Gosh, man, it's I like Rich. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I'm always kind of picking on myself. Wish it's tough, and also my sense of humor lies in my self-deprecating humor. But that being said, I guess I'd say, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm 47 years old, and I feel like I still feel like I'm emotionally and physically in my 20s. You know what I mean? I have a lot of energy to give the world, and some people might think that's old age, but I still feel like a kid, so I'm proud of that.
Thank you so much.
Well done, Bobby. Thank you. You.
Hey.
Thanks.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. So I have the completed Mad Libs if you guys are interested.
Oh,
Yes,
completed
please.
Mad Lib. All right.
Let's do it.
Come
Why
on
don't you
up.
come on stage?
Up here.
Okay.
You got to read the Mad Lib up here.
Yeah.
So she did Mad Libs throughout the weekend, asked people
Everyone's
the various
panel.
questions. Everybody's participated. Who all did you have participate?
I have pretty much everybody except for Misha, Jared, and Jensen.
Good, they're dead weight. Come over here. All right. All right, right here. In the Mad Lib seat. Robbie, microphone that woman. All right, here we go. What's your name?
Angela.
Angela?
Yeah.
Here's Angela with the SPN Charlotte Mad Lib.
There is a shout out to the Denver Mad Libs in here as well, so you'll know when you hear it. So this is called Supernatural Lib of Ultimate Madness.
Okay.
The Impala's door squeaked as Dean, Sam, and Castiel exited interestingly. Grub, Dean said, staring at the diner. Finally. He made a beeline for the doors. Sam and Castiel, too sassy to answer, followed him. The diner was busy with elderly couples, grizzled merkins, and noisy teens.
Grizzled Merkins and what?
Noisy teens.
All right.
So, finding the last available booth, Sam and Castiel sat across from Dean. They all looked around with the sharp gazes of pineapple pizzas and then relaxed. If there was a monster here, I swear I'd eat it, Dean said. Sam nodded, but Castiel stared at Dean. You're saying that if there was a member of the You're saying that if there was a member of the undead here, you would ejaculate on its rotted Rob's beehole.
Wait, hold on. Everybody calm down. I need to hear that last sentence
There's
again.
the Denver reference.
I need to hear that again.
You want me to do it again?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
You're saying that if there was a member of the undead here, you would ejaculate on its rotted Rob's beehole?
I'm so ashamed. That's your fault, by the way.
The weird part is that's not part of the Mad Lib. That's just a sentence that was written in there.
Sam grimaced and Dean turned a little green. No, of course not. It's a figure of speech, the angel said gravely. I should have known. I think you ruined my appetite, Dean said, then quickly forgot his troubles as an orange breeze fell over them. The waitress, a harried young banana, gave them a radiant impala. Sam, seeing Dean minutely inspecting the waitress's curvy figure, and Castiel frantically staring at his menu, said, I'll have a speaker with popcorn. Food got Dean's attention, and he quickly ordered an octopus and penises.
Like you do.
As one does.
He ordered a what?
He ordered an octopus and penises.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
the usual. Castiel, after blinking furiously at his menu, asked for what Sam and Dean both had. Wow, you are brown, Sam said, brows high, as the waitress walked away. Dean turned from craning around to watch the waitress leave. I hope the rock salt here is better than the last place. Theirs tasted like kittens. Sam chuckled. Castiel stared at Dean, and Dean sighed. Figure of speech, Cass. Figure of speech.
Well done. Nice. Thank you so much. Well done.
Hilarious. That's why you do Mad Libs. For sentences like the beehole. When you were a kid, you remember doing Mad Libs, and everyone, you just try to make it gross.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And then you read it and laugh your ass off.
Yep, that's pretty much right.
Yeah. Well done. Thanks for that.
That's good.
Never get that out of my mind, but yes, ma'am.
Hi, my question's for Rich. One of the episodes you directed, Stuck in the Middle with You, is a big Tarantino homage. I was wondering if shooting it in that style was your idea or if you just had to roll with it. And also, what are your guys' favorite Tarantino movies?
Favorite, I missed this. Favorite what?
The last part was what are our favorite Tarantino movies, and the first part was that your idea, or was that already written in?
So the first answer is Davey Perez, who wrote that script, had a lot of Tarantino references in there implanted. It was shot told out of order. He referenced the slow motion walk in the diner. He referenced the diner scene feeling like Reservoir Dogs. They had the box opening up with the glow. But being a giant Tarantino fan, as I am, that was, he was speaking my language. I was happy to go that way and go even deeper down that road. Certainly a lot of the Ramiel confrontation stuff is very, very Sergio Leone, which is a filmmaker I love and admire. And Tarantino pulls a lot from him, so there's a lot of overlap in those styles. So no, I was, and even score-wise, we went very sort of Hateful Eight with the whole score of the movie, of the episode. So it was a style that I was super happy to explore. And so once they gave me carte blanche to go down that road, I went screaming down that road and had a blast doing it. And I think it made for a uniquely paced episode. So it was very cool. In terms of favorite Tarantino movie, I probably, I'm going to go with the original, my original thought, which would be Reservoir Dogs, because that I saw when it came out and it blew me away. I think Pulp Fiction is an astonishing, piece of work, and there's other movies he's done that are just fantastic. But because that was the first one done for such a low budget, done so simply and just so incredibly, ahead of its time, or grisly for its day, I'm going to go with that one. Robbie?
I'm going to go with Pulp Fiction. I mean, I think it's such an iconic movie. Travolta's so great in it. Some of the scenes in it are just like amazing.
There's some language in there. There's some quotes in that movie that everybody still uses from Pulp Fiction. It's just great.
Yeah. I remember I went as Travolta's character for Halloween that year.
Vince Vega?
And did the dance. I
had giant posters of Reservoir, like they had these wall-sized posters of when they would do just one character. The movie posters that take one character and like have a quote from it. And I had the Reservoir Dogs. I had Michael Madsen from Reservoir Dogs, doing whatever he was doing. And I can't remember the quote, but it was great. I had Vince Vega. I had Travolta. And I can't remember who else I had. I had one other one. But it was They were just such iconic images he would create. I mean, you think about that dance that Uma Thurman did, and that's like just been replicated a million times, you know? It's such an awesome, such an interesting filmic voice. Do you have a favorite?
Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards, yeah.
Great movie.
The opening of that movie, Inglourious Bastards, is astonishing.
Sequence.
Astonishing scene. Anyway, thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Hi.
Hey.
My question is for Rob. So you're a huge influence on me musically, and Loud and Swain too, and I was wondering what advice you would give to young songwriters?
First of all, thank you so much. I think, I think it's important if you have any sort of music, if music moves you and you have a way to make it, make it. Don't be shy about making it. And it's okay if no one ever hears about you, but we are so lucky today to have these devices where it makes it easy to record. So, if you buy an Apple computer, it's all GarageBand, it's already on there. And so it makes it easy to make something. If you have lyrics swimming around in your head, write them down. And don't be embarrassed to call it a song, So I would just advise people to keep working on it. If you're learning to play an instrument, keep practicing. It's very difficult at first, but then sooner or later you get it, just like learning a language or learning anything. So just keep at it, and if you feel like creating music, create it. Otherwise, it just stays in your head. You might as well get it out there. Certainly for me, that was always, music was like writing in a diary, and I never expected anyone to hear it, listen, or even care. So it's been amazing to me that people do like it and identify with it. So just make it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You.
Hi. So I had a picture with Richard this weekend, and when I got up, I panicked and forgot what I wanted to do completely. So afterwards, I just kept trying to remember what I wanted to do. So it led to my question. So Rob, I know you play God, and Richard, you do like Casa Erotica photos. So I was wondering what your most interesting photo pose request was.
Oh, most interesting photo pose request.
We've had a couple interesting ones together. You've got that great story.
Yeah, I'll tell this story. I've told it before, but I do love this story. One time a young lady brought a photo up to me showing me the example she would like me to reenact for our photo. And I looked at it and I was like, I have a pretty wide berth when it comes to these things. I try to be playful and have a good time and be open to whatever you guys want to do. But I saw this and I was like, guys, I'm going to have to, I don't mean to disparage your choices here, but I'm going to have to say no. That's a little too far. I got kids, I'm married. I feel like that's a bridge too far. I can't really have that out there on the internet. But no harm in asking me, and thank you, and we'll find something else you enjoy doing. No, that's not the fun part of the story. The fun part of the story is that the photo she showed me to ask me if I would do the pose was her doing that pose with Misha. Who apparently was fine with it. It's just like...
And then there was one time, Rich and I we'll do a lot. We're pretty loose about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe too much so. But there was one time, that I think we were in Europe, and someone was like, I want you two to embrace each other. And we're like, okay, all right. And then she's like, and then I'm not in the picture.
And so me and Robert cheek to cheek, we're like, where are you going?
Wait,
like,
no.
Whoa!
You got to be in this. You got to be in this.
We're like, no, we don't need a photo of ourselves embracing. We're like, you in it.
We got plenty of those.
Yeah, we got those. My phone's full of those. So that's it. I think that's it. Did you ever figure out what your idea was?
No.
Oh, well.
Keep thinking.
Next time. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to say I love you both, and you've both equally scared me so far during this convention.
Both equally what?
Well, that's our goal.
We scare her?
Yeah.
Right.
So my question was, what's the best prank you've seen pulled on Misha? Because I know he gets a lot of pranks pulled by like almost everybody on set.
Oh, that guy has been so abused on the set. I mean, not anymore, not now so much as back in the day. That first episode he directed.
Yeah, they apparently threw his script away and hit him with a cake. And
What was the thing where he had a whole bunch of pennies in his car? What was that one?
Jared put panties in his car?
Jared put pennies in Misha's car? Because he owed him $1,000. And so he put $1,000 of pennies in his car.
Oh, pennies, not panties. Oh. I misheard that, and I thought, how would you value what do the pair of panties cost, and what if it didn't land exactly on 1,000? And if it was 1,000 pairs of panties, that's got a street value way above $1,000.
Really, no, that's true. No, it was really good lingerie. There's a lot of, pennies. Pennies.
By the way, it's not like an asinine thought. It's not above Jared to put a bunch of women's underwear in your car.
That's true.
Not,
that's actually
that's
true.
not an outlandish
that's true.
suggestion.
Yeah, but I think the pennies thing, that to me said that was a new level of cruelty.
By the way, I know a lot of you end up in panels at various conventions. Feel free to suggest to Jared that he put $1,000 worth of women's underwear in Misha's car. I think that would be within his realm of humor and very doable.
True. Yeah, but not mine. I'm good.
Your car?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm good.
Okay.
Don't play any tricks on me.
I don't play tricks on people.
You play tricks on me every day.
I don't do that. Come on, man.
You play mind tricks.
Yeah. What was the question, though? Was it like,
what's the worst thing you've seen happen to Misha?
Well, I guess it would be that. I mean, I haven't been around to witness these pranks. I hear about them the same way you do, but...
yeah, we're just repeating stories someone else has told
us.
So I don't even know if it's true or not.
The panty thing is probably too much.
But now I feel like there's not as much of that going on. Now we're just like, we've been friends for a long time. And
I don't feel like they prank him that much anymore. I don't know.
It's really just, the pranks that I see on set are just have to do with Jared just when you're on the camera, Jared being off camera and making just farting. Jared farting, Jared playing footsie with you under the table, that kind of thing. So that you look like the jerk when you can't get your line out and you're laughing, and the director comes in and gets on you about not getting your line out. You're going, but the guy hit. I have my line memorized. He doesn't. He's farting and touching me under the table.
I'm glad you're exercising your demons in a question about Misha. This is very healthy.
Sorry. That's all I know.
Thank you for your question.
Yes,
You.
Hi, this question is, I'm nervous.
This question is nervous?
I'm really nervous. This question is for Rich. How do you think Gabriel would react if he met Tom Hiddleston's Loki?
How do I think Gabriel would react to Tom Hiddleston's Loki?
Yep. Oh, it's on now.
I think Gabriel would do what all of us would do. We'd say, can you introduce me to Iron Man? That's who I really want to meet. I don't know. You look good in green. Nice horns. I don't know. What do you think he would do? Because Hiddleston wears that big green outfit, right? With the horns. So he would compliment his hat. What do you think would happen?
I think they would get along because they're both sassy. I think there'll be a problem because one's going to think they're better than the other and they're going to end up fighting over it.
Well, no, because he's the British Loki and I'm the American Loki. We cover different continents. It'll all work out in the end. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
You.
Hi.
This is really for Rob, but you can answer it. Do you want some popcorn?
I do.
Rob wants popcorn, yeah. Rob wants
Thank
popcorn
you so
for
much.
sure.
Thank you so much. I was really hoping this was going to happen.
Absolutely.
You know, I said this on, thank you so much. You're very generous.
I'm okay, thank you.
I said this on our panel yesterday that popcorn was my favorite food. I said, if you want to give me a gift, give me popcorn. And I had a couple people have popcorn like in a photo op, and they're like, hey, it's popcorn. And I kept thinking they're going to say, you can have it. And they're like, hey, that's mine. And they like took it away. I was like, damn it. Anyway, thank you. I'm super psyched. No, I'm just kidding. I was kidding. It was just a funny anecdote, but this means a lot to me. Thank you for everyone who voted for me.
It's like you won an Emmy.
Yeah. I want to thank
Couldn't have done this without
all of you. Thank you.
You.
Me. So I'm like an actress or whatever. And one of the things I hated most about my training was improv and how much they make you do it and how embarrassing and awful it is. What are your thoughts on improv? You got any good experiences with it? Bad?
We do it every day.
We love
every
it.
Day?
Yeah.
No, we do it every day. Improv is a crucial element to, I think it's a great lesson for anything in life because it trains your brain to think quickly and respond quickly and, You know, I mean, basically what Rob and I do every morning when we come out here to do the opening is complete improv. Because we never know what we're going to talk about. We never know what we're going to say. We never know where it's going to go. And we just make it up and bounce off each other and do what we think is clever and see if anything interesting comes out of it. So, you know, I think it's a great skill, and it's a learned skill. And if it makes you nervous, that means it's something you need to pursue, because if it were easy, everybody would do it.
You know, I used to take improv classes back in the day, and it definitely can be nerve-wracking, especially if you're like in a theater where people are like, be funny, you know, and they give you a place and a situation, and you have to like make something quick. But the number one rule of improv is yes and. And I think in life this is a great thing. That's why I love hanging out with improv people sometimes, because you can't throw out a dud. If you give somebody something, yes and means if I say to Richard, hey, you're the King of England, he goes, yes I am, son, and you're my prince. Right? He says yes, and also this. But if I go, you're the King of England, he goes, no I'm not. Then the joke's over. Unless you're Rich, it's kind of funny when Rich says it. But then the joke's over, right? So in life, I think that's a good thing. Someone says something to you like, yeah, and also, hey, that's a good point. And furthermore, you know, so yes and I think is something that can help you in life.
Great lesson in life. Keep doing it. It's a good idea.
Okay. Good on you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I will, figure it out.
Good luck with it all.
Thank you.
You.
Hi. I got a Kings of Con question for you. So in the last episode, you obviously had some fictional characters who represented Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion from Con Men.
Wait a minute.
I don't remember that. I don't remember the parallel there.
Okay. I never heard that.
Have you actually met them? Did you have a discussion about the two series and who may have copied who else?
Nobody copied. Well, for starters, all due aside, nobody copied anybody. They've had their experience and they created their idea. In the same way that Aaron Sorkin created Studio 60 and Tina Fey created 30 Rock, ideas are out there and they get created, and there was no copying or stealing from either group. So out of the gate, that's not a thing. Secondly, well, I've met Alan briefly.
I met Alan at Comic-Con.
And he couldn't have been anything but lovely.
They're nice, really nice guys. And we knew about each other. It's actually kind of a funny coincidence, the story. We had this idea. We originally called our show Con Men. And then we shot a little something for it. Anyway, right as we were about to sort of go to the next step, we've heard about this other project called Con Man, and it was a very similar idea. We're like, well, wouldn't you know? It's the same kind of show. But we were like, well, we'll keep making ours. They'll make theirs. There's no way they're the same. And sure enough, they're very different shows. We changed the name of ours, and ours is very, very much Richard and Rob's, perspective. And it's a different show than theirs. But it's funny, the two shows kept sort of intertwining. We both wound up on Comic-Con HQ. And so that's when we met Alan sort of at Comic-Con. But no, we talked to the producer on the phone. We're like, hey, just want to know that we're rooting for you. And
in our brief overlapping them, they've been nothing but nice. And if their show is still going, we wish it tremendous success, because if their show does well, that bodes well for other shows like it. So, it was never a competitive thing. It's always rising tide raises all boats.
But it originates because many of our ideas came, there are nuggets of truth in them. We thought, wouldn't this be funny if the characters, Rob and Rich, had this idea that they think they're geniuses, and then sure enough, these two dudes who are more famous than them also have the same idea. And we thought that would actually be a funny thing to put into the show, and that's where that came from.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey.
Hi, Rob and Rich. I have a question for Rob.
Yes.
There may not be an answer to this, but last year at the DC Con, I bought the album A Brand New Heart, and the lyrics to one of the songs I've been wondering about for the entire year, which is the chorus, all the children rise, salute, he's the king, open up your eyes, better pay your dues. Can you tell me anything about what that's about?
Right, Silver Spoon is about like... It has to do with me feeling kind of bitter at somebody that it seems to me has everything handed to them, like silver spoon, born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They just like everything comes easy for them, and I'm struggling, working my ass off, and everything seems to be easy for this person. Not anyone in particular. It's just that feeling. A lot of times I'll just write about a feeling, and so that's where that imagery comes from. All the children rise, everybody rise. He's the king. And yeah, that's what that's about.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You.
Hi, I wanted to say first, tusen tack for this weekend. It was awesome.
Good.
And I wanted to know what, what show, concert, or convention, or otherwise that you would travel far to.
What
Because
concert, show, or convention would you travel far to?
Well, I just went to Seattle to see Pearl Jam. That was pretty awesome. Okay. I mean, that's not that far from Los Angeles, but who would I mean, Pearl Jam, I'd pretty much travel anywhere to go see. Radiohead, I'd go see.
Yeah, Rob would do more traveling to go see stuff.
I love seeing concerts.
Yeah.
Concerts are so inspiring to me.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's where it comes. That's where I relate as a fanboy. Is music to me is.
I would have traveled.
Yeah.
To New York to see the original cast of Hamilton had I had the opportunity. I didn't have the opportunity. I saw the cast that came to LA, and it was a stunning show. I love Broadway shows, man. Yeah. I thought that show was unbelievable. So cool. that was something. Yeah. And I think I would love to see the Rolling Stones play in England. You know, see them play in their home country.
I mean, it would have been great back in the day too.
Oh man, well if I could travel back in time, I mean, yeah, for sure. Gentlemen, you're standing here, and if you're standing here, that means it's the end of our time on stage. Oh.
Well, we're not at the end of our time at the convention.
No, convention, there's autographs, there's photographs, there's other things to do. But as far as
the on-stage
band,
portion. Hey, thanks everybody for being at the Kings of Con panel, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. And now we're going to do the thing we always do in every city we visit. Every city we go to, we do this. If you've seen it on video, then join us. If you know what we're talking about, I want you to sing with us because this is the traditional sign-off from Rob and Rich and the band.
Here we go. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. So go home.
After you come get your photograph or autograph, don't leave too soon.
It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. So go home.
On behalf of Mr. Stephen Norton, Mr. Michael Borja, and Mr. Billy Moran, that man right there is Rob Benedict, and I'm Richard Speight. Thank you so much, Charlotte. It's been a real treat.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Hope to see you again soon, everybody.